We're now recording for everybody that makes sure I hit that button. My name is Sharon Whiteman, and I'm proud to partner with Dana Hunter and Gary Knapp to bring these trainings to the Australasian region every Saturday morning for probably 15, 16 years now. And we love gathering with you on a Saturday and sharing the great education and blessing that Manatic has on all levels. Now today we're very privileged to have Dr. Steve Hines. Dr. Steve Hines is a medical doctor with 4 degrees in medical and biological sciences. As a gold presidential, he has been committed to Manatic for 26 years. Dr. Hines is a member of the Chairman's Club and the North American Strategy and Planning Council. His business embraces 25 countries, including South Africa, Europe, North and South America, and the Happy Team, which, if you haven't heard of them, they're kind of a country themselves. As a team, they focus on the value of collaboration over competition and moving their friends and contacts from work income to wealth income. David had a mentor who assisted him in moving from middle-class thinking to upper-class thinking. He's passionate about passing that mentorship on to others. And so today, this is going to be focused on, everything that's amazing about Manatic, but in particular, really understanding the gift of the business. So Dr. Hines, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Well, thank you, Sharon. I'm so grateful. Happy Easter. What a joyous weekend of our faith. And, your story, of course, I've known your story a long time. It's a fantastic story of our products and your incredible leadership. And thank you so much for putting this call on.
Thank you, Dr. Hines. So I think it's really important because I can see just scanning the participants who are here today live, and then this call keeps on giving through the recording. Tell us about how you came to Manatic, and how did a medical doctor end up in a network marketing business?
Well, you're very fortunate that you've got a great relationship with Steve Nugent. Steve and I kind of come from the same place. We were already very successful doing other things, but when we really got to understand what we had our hands on here, especially in 1996, I got in 94, but in 96, we went from just the Manipul product to the Ambertose. And we really changed our entire career path. I don't know if you know this, but Steve could be making a lot more money doing other things. And, but I love what he does. I love the fact that he's a warrior for the truth about your body and I got into medicine because I wanted to change the world, help people, love on people. And I found that this was just a much better vehicle for me because even though I love my colleagues, the pharmaceutical industrial model of medicine is not getting the job done. And so even though I love them, and of course, we're not today we're not going to talk about disease or treatment or cure or medicine or anything, because that's not what we're about. We're about functional food and what it can do to restore your body. So once I got my hands on this, I could have just easily used the products myself and for my family, but hey, once you understand something truthful, you feel obligated. When I was in school, we put together tutorial systems for our class. I've always been a guy who wanted to collaborate because I grew up in a very humble situation, a very poverty situation. I wore hand-me-down clothes, and the only people I knew, I didn't know anybody that had money. My great uncle was a dentist, and so I thought, wow, he has nice clothes and he has a nice car, so I'll get into medicine. That was my counseling. So, we're on this journey through life, and it's always changing, and that's the beautiful thing about it. So in my case, yeah, a total stranger came into my clinic, and I knew he was talking about network marketing, and because I had created co-ops and buying groups and networks in the past, I was very open. And when I realized the proprietary exclusive nature of this discovery and these incredible people like Bill and Reg and others that had contributed their lives to this, I felt very compelled. We are a company of provision. We are a company of hope. We are a company of freedom and freedom-believing people. When I look at the globe, I don't see borders. I see people. And so I've always, coming from a small town, I had that small town attitude of, get the ego out of the way, get the status out of the way, because that limits us. And so even though I've accomplished a lot of things, I've been in venture capital and investment banking, and I've done about over $4 billion in sales in my businesses. I don't look at that as me. I look at it as something that follows a philosophy that creates a better way of living. So as you said earlier, there are two ways you can look at living. You can look at it from an individual competitive point of view where it's all about you. And of course, when that happens, we do have fear, we do have turmoil, we do have debt and stress because we can only work so hard to make money. But when you decide to collaborate with a believing community, then everything changes. And of course, it all starts with faith. Every day when I get up, I want to advance the kingdom of God, and this company, as a company of provision, was birthed that way. And that's why I'm here 26 years later, through all the ups and all the downs. And I'm more excited about Manatech than I've ever been. And hopefully today I'll help transform that emotion to you.
With all your skills and background, was it a like straight to the top kind of experience, or did you have a learning curve when you started, because you're so skilled when you came into this, and obviously a person of authority in health, and money, actually, in business. Was it a straight to the top kind of experience, or did you have a learning curve?
Big learning curve. Did everything I possibly could do wrong so I could get that out of the way. And I blew out a lot of my friends. I made a lot of mistakes. And, I am blessed because I did everything according to the book. The thing I want to really stress today is what you believe is who you are. And so I start with my fundamental relationship and my trust and my understanding of my faith. And then I transfer that to other people. But in between those two, and this is my message today, is that you cannot be successful if you don't grow yourself. The only person I can ever convince or control or do anything with is myself. So my relationship, my trust, and my understanding of me is what helped me. And that has taken me decades to become better and better at. When I look at the people in my business, the incredible platinums I have in my organization, the giving spirit, the joyful attitudes, those are things that I needed to hear because I grew up in a dog-eat-dog world, kind of a rat race mentality. And I was only taught to do one thing: work, work, work. And so Barbie and I did. We worked our way through 11 years of college, 6 degrees, never took out a student loan. And so we sacrificed a great deal to do what we thought was right, which is get a good job. And when I got there, I was very happy about the success we had. I love my clinics. I love my patients. But I realized that I was out of balance. You cannot sacrifice that much and stay in balance. How are you going to serve the Lord, serve your family, serve your friends? How are you going to be part of a community if you have no time? So the great gift of collaboration and passive income is the ability to live your life on your own set of rules, to live your life the way you want to. And so, yes, first of all, I made the classic mistake, like we all did. This product is a gift from God. It's an incredible product. And so we kind of forgot about the people side of the business at first and just focused on the product. And now I think we're finding that balance again. And I think that message is going to resonate, especially today with the crisis we're in. The world is changing. I'm really big on the gig economy because I think the gig economy is just about democracy. If you are in charge of you, then you have to be in charge of your gig.
That's freedom, isn't it?
It's all about linking arms. In order to be massively successful in Manatech, it is the science of achievement. Let me go back. The reason I'm here today isn't because of all my knowledge as a doctor and all my work and all those things. That was great. But what really changed my life were my mentors. When I sold my business, and I worked for a venture group for 7 years as an investment banker, I had an office in Seattle and they had offices in Manhattan, and I would go back and forth twice a month. And it was crazy. I'm just a kid from a little logging town. I was broke all my life. And so, but Barbie and I learned hard work. Well, that is not enough because you're not going to change the world by working hard. You're going to change the world by helping other people find a better way of living. My mentors took me aside and said, hey, Doc, we love you. We love your business. Thank you very much. We make money. But you know what? You have no idea how to be wealthy. Now think about that for a minute. All my degrees in college, all my high school experience, did anybody teach me, or teach you for that matter, how to control financial intelligence, how to create passive income, how to live off of assets instead of your hours, and how to do that in a way that significantly helps people who can't help themselves? I mean, look at M5M. That should be a no-brainer. 5 million consumers, 5 million children. That to me is a no-brainer. So why isn't it happening? Well, we're going to talk about that.
And so how much did that change your life? Because I remember you told me about, wasn't it a banker that was one of your mentors?
Yeah,
Tell us how he changed your mindset.
Yeah, a gentleman of third or fourth generation Harvard MBA named Buckley Griswold III. My partners were big venture capitalists. These were the wealthiest people I'd ever met. I mean, I grew up in a little town. And so when I went to Shark Tank, I mean, you guys have seen the Shark Tank, right? It's just like that. And I thought it was about the money, and it was about this. No, everything in life that works is about the science of achievement. And the science of achievement is all about people. Yeah, you got to have money in order to make things happen. That's the nature of business, but that's not the goal. So Buckley Griswold III, first of all, wealthy people are the most wonderful people on the planet. This guy was a giver. He was a contributor. He worked in his community. He ran foundations. He ran charities. He was the most influential person, the most likable guy, great sense of humor, great kids. I mean, what do we want in life? We want to leave something besides our own ego when we die, right? And he was just one of those guys. And so it totally changed my opinion of what wealth is and what rich people are. Obviously, I shared with you earlier, if the opposite of pro is con, well, then the opposite of progress is congress. So when you put people into any great system, you're going to have mistakes. Same with network marketing. Network marketing is a perfect business model until you put people in it. And then a lot of things can happen because people are people. And sometimes we don't know how to focus and have clarity and know how to execute something that's simple. Because in order for you to feel important, in order for you to feel your status, in order for you to feel like you're doing something, you've got to be important. And that's not true. That's not true at all. You can, the philosophy, the Hines system, the philosophy that I taught the Happy Team was a great example because we were going through a lot of challenges in Manatech, but my team didn't speak English. And so I just didn't allow them around the negativity. I said, this is the system we're going to teach you. This is the only system you're going to teach you. Don't talk to anybody else or do anything else. And by the way, that's true for you guys. If I say something today that's contrary to your upline or your systems, please just ignore me and just take what you can from me and leave out the rest that you don't like. But I taught them, but in that vacuum, I was able to start. Wouldn't we all like to start at like 20 years old right now with everything we know now, right? So I had that chance, and that's why there's over a dozen platinums on that team now.
They're phenomenal. And you're talking about, one of the priorities you wanted to cover today was the power that consumers have and about being at the heart level.
Oh, Sharon, now you just hit my hot button because everything you need to be successful in life, you already have. If you have a relationship and trust and understanding with God, if you have a relationship, trust, and understanding with yourself, and if you have a relationship, trust, and understanding with other people, you become a giver. And you focus totally on the rewards of giving. And so consumers give away their power. So let me put it this way. To whom you give your money, you give your power. We vote every day in the marketplace of products and ideas, and we give our money away in a haphazard way. When I built my buying group, the reason it was a multi-billion-dollar success is I united the buying power of little people to create big outcomes. I leveled the playing field so that the little professional, the doctor in a small practice had the same buying power as a multinational corporation. And that's what I want to do with network marketing. I want to level the playing field for hardworking middle-class families to create what? A better way to live. And you have all the power already in your wallet. If you take that buying power you have, let's say it's $200 a month, because I love that optimal support pack, so I kind of push that. Everybody in my business gets on an auto ship for optimal support pack. And so at that point, they're optimizing their physiology, but they're also just being a good steward to buying from their own business. You want to be your own best customer. This business is built on leaders and customers. And fortunately, you can be both. So in my business, I simply want to replicate what I do every day. I buy from Amazon, I buy from eBay, I buy from stores and places. Go down to Costco is my hero. I'm in Kirkland, Washington, where Costco was created. I was actually offered a job there one time and I turned it down. But I learned from that. That mistake I made of turning down that Costco position led me to Manitech, led me to this life I have now. Because I believe that members who unite their buying power and unite their marketing power can profit share off of their consumer dollars. So I don't look at myself as spending money. I look at myself as an investing in a partnership with technology and product companies that are going to change the world. Like today's a classic example. We're talking across time and space. We're living like kings used to live. I mean, we're better than that. But we can use that information to be lazy and just be me, or you can be a leader and say, how can I feed the people who I'm teaching? And we can do that now across the globe, just like today. So here's the bottom line. To whom you give your money, you give your power. So is it time to take that power back? Is there a way you can combine your power with other people's power and multiply that power thousands of times like we have? I mean, our business does millions. I mean, just last month, we increased our buying power here in our network by $250,000 a week. Well, but that's 35 years of work on my part. But here's the cool part. The message that you're giving people and the message that we're going to give people today, you could do what I did in 35 years in 3 years. You could have the same income I have, you could have the same organization I have, and you could do it even faster but you got to get out of your own way. And that's what Manitechers sometimes forget. Because people always ask me, Sharon, they go, what do you offer first, the opportunity or the product? And what I tell them is they're the same thing. The opportunity and the product are one thing. They're not separate. And so, but if you start there, if you start with a problem, a solution, and an action, people think you're selling them. People think you're network marketing them in the traditional sense. They don't see you as a giver, they see you as a taker. Because you're starting out on the wrong foot. You're trying to convince people to do something that they don't understand. If you start where I was taught by my mentors, which is create a relationship, have fun. Like today, I want to have fun with you guys. I love life. I was out in the sun right before this thinking about you guys, and I was excited. So if this is what you call a job, hey, I'll take it. So have fun, but you got to know your story. And so when I talk about unity, the power of the spoken word, leadership qualities, it's not random. It's extremely specific. I had to teach the happy team how to clap, how to sit in the front, what to wear at a function, how to do a testimonial that was 30 seconds, how to do a opportunity testimonial in 30 seconds. So even though what I'm sharing with you is extremely simple, there's a science to achievement. The art of fulfillment is very random, but you can discipline that. So there's only two things you got to do in Manitech. You've got to understand the science of achievement, which is the duplication of a model of a system. Have fun, tell your story, follow the system. And then the second part is, and this is the most important part for you, because it's really you incorporated, it's you versus you in business. Your only competition in life is you. Well, that comes back to the art of fulfillment. The art of fulfillment is not random. Just follow God's laws. Just follow a system that everybody can do, which is everybody can be a consumer, everybody can take tax benefits, everybody can use marketing materials or these meetings like this recording. I hope this recording is heard by a lot of people, because that's the nature of giving. I want all of Manatech to succeed, not just my group. But I have to be very careful. And when I do specific slides and specific presentations, Sharon, you can give out whatever you want to give out. You have my websites and stuff. That's up to you guys. But remember that everything I've done, which looks great now, was flawed at the beginning. I tried to sell. I tried to convince people. I would put on 2-hour opportunity presentations that were incredibly good, and nobody got in, because they'd go, "Oh my gosh, if I have got to do that, you're a doctor, you're this big guru, I can't do that." Well, you got to humble yourself. This is not a business about status or Dr. Nugent or Dr. Steve or Dr. anybody. It's a business of how people can live a better way through a community of people that believe the same things, and how they can unite that buying power. So I don't sell products. I unite buying power. Just like I did with my doctors, we changed the world. We changed the entire business model of how people bought products in medicine.
Wow, that's amazing. And I've got a little question that's come through. Might be good timing for that. Is, can you expand more on the science of achievement in people?
Yeah, the good news about my mentors is they said, "Steve, wealth is not about emotions. Wealth is about a science. There's a specific formula for success." And the challenge we have, and again, as a venture capitalist, as an investment banker, as a man who understands the tax system, the incorporation systems, everybody on this call has to focus on what they do. If you're taking the tax benefits and you can teach it. If you're incorporated and you're separating your business from your personal life, you're making a commitment to achievement, you will. Every single day, and I've been doing this for 35 years, I read, I listen, and I attend. And that compound effect, those daily things that seem small as you take the step, gives you miles of benefits, because they multiply. When you work, you add income. When you invest in wealth, you multiply income. It starts out slow, but it builds. Now, if I could go back and be 20 years old and have my mentors impact me, my whole life would have probably been different. Obviously, God wanted me to have this life, and I'm excited about it. I'm really happy. I just want to make this easier for you. That's all. I want to make it easier. I mean, I have dozens of people that make more money in Manatech than I do, but I'm not necessarily money motivated. I like nice things, but I'm out of debt. I have no credit cards, no car payments, no house payments. Barbie and I are free. And so, and of course, we've seen these products change the lives of people in a fundamental way. And because that I'm all about two things: how to optimize human performance in business, and how to optimize human performance in physiology. And sometimes when I talk to people about achievement, it's really simple. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you want to be? Okay, and you got to get your ego out of it, and you got to get your fear out of it. That part of your brain that fears change can be stopped. Change is bad because it creates fear, but we're in a changing world. And I mean, I have friends that are driving for Uber that make $200 a month, and I have people that allow strangers in their homes to use their rooms, and they're making $300 a month. This is ridiculous. That's it. A gig economy is just another way of working. But 58 million people in America want a gig. It's our obligation to share there's two kinds of gigs. There's gigs that create active income that you got to repeat over and over again, or there's gigs that create passive income where you help other people gig in a better way, and everybody gets to be collaborative, and everybody gets to succeed together. Our compound plan is designed for good things, but you got to get the whole product opportunity thing out of the way and get over to relationships, trust, and understanding. So again, achievement is about creating okay, how simple is this? You buy $200 worth a month of product that helps you and your family, and it also helps a child somewhere in the world, and that becomes the foundation of your business. Your business doesn't have to worry about distribution and products and manufacturing and lawyers and legal and all that stuff. You get to focus on having a small business that attracts customers and attracts other members. So I use Costco as a model. When there was one Costco on the planet, I was offered a job. I turned it down. I couldn't see. I was offered a chance to put all the eye doctors into the Costco's. Well, that would have been a multi-million-dollar success for me. And when I turned it down, I realized I had made a mistake. That was the thing. I didn't like it at the time because I'm a professional white coat guy, right? I couldn't see doctors in a warehouse. Turns out that's 35% of the entire domestic volume now. So I missed it. I wasn't going to miss the second chance. I wasn't going to let my ego and not being, I have a mastermind group. So I always check my ego to them. If I had gone to my mastermind group, explained the situation with Costco, I might have done it. But instead, I said, oh, no, I can't do that. That's not professional. I don't know. I didn't serve myself. I didn't serve others. I just thought about myself. So I hope that helps, because the science of achievement is easy. $200 a month, go 4 teams wide, help other people become members of your buying group, which I consider myself a buying group, not a network. I consider myself a buying group. I help people buy. And when they buy, they get the tax benefits that pays for their products. When they buy, they get to incorporate themselves and have a lasting legacy. My upline leader died years ago, yet all that income that still comes in, those millions of dollars that have come in, go to charity, go to his foundation. So his life lives on. Wouldn't you like that? And what am I asking you to do? Spend $200 a month to optimize your physiology, help other people become members of your community, and teach them the science and the science of achievement, which is simple. It's the art of fulfillment that gets in the way. Don't let that primitive brain of emotions and fear stop you from living a better life.
And so I was just about to ask you how you would talk to someone, and that's what you just did.
Well, I'll give you an example. I have a guy really excited. I just signed him up. He's an Uber driver. I was with him for 6 minutes. And so I got in the car. He had a bubbly personality. He's just driving me about 8 miles away to pick up my car. And his name was Tony. And his fiance is Lori. And they're excited. They're in my business. And I said to him, look, I said, I do what Uber does. I said, wouldn't it be cool if you could own Uber instead of just drive for Uber? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, that's what I do. We should sit down and have coffee and talk about it. And now 80% of the people would just blow me off, but I got to my place, my phone went off. It was a text and it said, Doc, people are always talking to me about opportunities and stuff, but there's just something that resonated with me and I want to follow up on it. As a matter of fact, he says, I want to sit down as soon as possible and talk about whatever it is you're talking about. I don't convince people. I follow up. I make sure that they understand how much I love what I do and how much they'll love what they do if they do it with me. But that's it. He was just getting remarried. His first wife was gone and he was remarrying. And so I caught him at a perfect moment. And they're making new plans. They're thinking new things. He realizes that Uber is not going to make him the kind of money. He's already, he's 55 years old. He's semi-retired. He's a very successful businessman already. So I caught the right guy at the right time at the right place. But it's a 6-minute conversation. I know that's hard, but that's why I like warm market. If you can create a relationship with people, just a relationship, just tell people you love your life. You love what's going on. You're not afraid of anything. How would that feel? I'm just spreading the good news. It's like being a preacher. You just, let God do the rest.
That's fantastic. One of the other things that you mentioned to me the other day was it's just gone out of my head. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But another thing that you wanted us to cover was the blue ocean aspect of our business.
Oh my gosh, guys, Thank you, Sharon. Keep me on track. First of all, I'm going to make a serious point. How would you like to be in a business that had no competition? I mean, no competition. Well, how does that work? Well, the only way that'll work, because you see, every business on this planet fails for exactly the same reason. They don't avoid competition. Okay, if you're doing network marketing, you're in a red ocean. You're competing with a lot of other people. If you're talking about products, you're competing with a lot of products. So why would you go out and compete in a red ocean where there's lots of hooks and no fish, when you could create a blue ocean when there's one hook and all the fish? So I deliberately create a business that has no competition, and I help people understand why. It's very simple. What are the three things that you need to do to be successful? You need to create value in an exclusive way. Okay. Then you need to create a lot of customers who want that value, so that you're not only creating value, but you're doing speed wealth, which is high quality value over a lot of people. So the highest quality value, protected by patents, over as many people as possible, a global seamless organization. And the number one thing is customer loyalty. Why would I buy from Amazon when Manatech and my own business, you Incorporated, Steve Hines and Barbie Hines Incorporated, why would I buy from them when I am in business competing with them? Or they could be my competition. People worry about what's going on all these sites. You shouldn't worry about that. People always want things for free. They always want stuff for less, and they'll always tell you that what you're doing is expensive, unless you understand that if you're not loyal to yourself, nothing works. If you don't believe in you, then nothing works. So why would I buy a product that I have in my business from somebody else, or a business or a product that competes? So think about this. A lot of people in Manatech, and even myself, they want a product experience before they can go out and tell the world. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Yes, I want to optimize your human performance. I want you to be a super you. I want your body to perform like the miracle it was designed. The manna that we put on our bodies was designed by God to fuel the structure and function of every cell of our body, not just the immune system. Every cell of your body has 800,000 protein, glycan, receptor molecules, and they are the code of life. Like water or air, you've got to have functional food. Why not have the best? Now, once you ask a person on a scale of, where do you want to be? You want to be poor health, average health, or great health? And what are you willing to do, and how much are you willing to spend to make that happen? Now, since cost is always an issue, how do you create 100% customer loyalty? Give them more value than the cost. I never worry about the price of our products. I don't care if they double the price of our products. I will never get off these products because I've created a system that allows me to live a better life. Not just health, but also have the time I want to spend, like with you today, where I can change the world. Where I say, whenever I use the word I, please understand it's not me, it's we. Where we can change the world. Without you, I'm nothing. I'm just a $200 auto ship. Okay, that's it.
It's such a it cuts through small thinking, doesn't it? It's not magical, it's not big, but it's expansive.
Yeah, it's the nature of faith. If you have fear about whatever, the cost, the product, the company, the management, it doesn't matter what it is. I've been through everything. I've been through 8 comp plan changes. I've been through 7 CEOs. I mean, whatever. I never worry about that stuff. When people are all screaming the sky is going to fall in, I say, great. Because when I pick it back up, it's going to be bigger than ever. It's all about attitude. It's all about you.
Yeah, I like that.
It seems very silly to think, hey, wait a minute, I can start a business for $49, $200 a month in product, and plug in to, okay, see, the key is People don't know how to do the business. Now, I know why I'm doing the business. I want to create a better way of living for a lot of people, and I want to help 5 million children. Okay, that's an honorable goal. Now, if I don't provide a marketing solution, then I've only met you halfway. The key is united marketing. That's why I have a system. Now, everybody wants to create their own system. When we first started, everybody in my organization had different systems. Don Partridge had a system. All the people in my business, Louis Vanderlini, Luciano, Don, and all the platinums done that leg. And people would say, well, what system should I follow? Well, of course, my answer was, you got to follow the system that your upline is doing so he can help you. But in actuality, there should be no system at all, except one. And that is absolute pure duplication. Any system that doesn't create pure duplication it will compete with itself, because people are going to think they got to do a lot of things and know a lot of things and be a lot of things before they can get going. And an entire industry of personal development is around that. You'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in your life on personal development when you don't need to, as long as you plug into the ultimate authority, which is to humble yourself in your faith, with your family, and with your friends. Don't be a big shot. Love on people, create a relationship. You see, if you're going to solve a problem, you can't solve a problem until you have a relationship, trust, and understanding. And so people hear me say those words, relationship, trust, understanding, and they go, okay, I get it. No, they don't. I teach an absolute way that looks in a system of marketing. So pretty soon people have confidence. They may not have confidence in themselves. They don't need to. I got gals and guys in my business who are very meek and mild, and God, they jump at their own shadow, and they're making $100,000 a year in network marketing because they're plugged into a duplicating system. So whatever you're doing out there, it's great. The company is not, don't look for the company to do this for you. You have to do it.
There's some great people on this list here. And so a system is just something so somebody knows what to do next, and that they can feel confident to teach the next person to do that. And there's a lot in Manitech Plus. There's a lot in the individual teams. And I know Al's busy working at a global unification of the Manitech system. So those kind of things but you don't wait for it. I know.
Oh, no. And God, I love Al. I mean, Al is my mentor. He's my personal friend. I mean, whenever Al and I are together, we just have a ball. And Johanna's in my business. I mean, they're family. It's family. You've got to treat your business like your spouse. Relationship, trust, and understanding. If your spouse doesn't believe you, nobody else is going to. If your children don't believe you, nobody else is going to. So you got to work on you. Remember, in business, it's you versus you. If you don't want to have any competition, then the only thing you control is you. But it's so much fun. It takes all the weight off your shoulders. $200 a month. It's a membership. Combined buying power, combined marketing power, profit share. Take the tax advantages. Be a real responsible person. Don't hedge the bets. Don't try to do as little for as much as possible. Give as much as possible so you'll get as much as possible. But only through giving can you win, because people are going to see right through it. And there's no gimmicks. I don't care what Manitech Plus does. I don't care any of that stuff. I want them to have an understanding that if you're working with our team, we're going to feed you. We're going to feed you the basic stuff of life: water, air, food. Anything above that, you don't eat. So all the other stuff that comes into achievement and comes into fulfillment, and Eric Worre and Al Ball, and God bless them all. And even what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. Get it straight. It's water, air, and food. Fun story system.
Fun story system. So having your team together, having a good time.
Yeah, I got to teach people how to tell a story. They think a story is just, hey, you get in front of people and you tell a story. No. It is very important. There are 9 elements to a story, and they all have to be in a sequence, and they all have to be real, they all have to be authentic, and they all have to be impactful for the person listening. So they go, man, if you can do it, I can do it. They're in business with us, not Manatech.
Would you like to demonstrate that, Steve?
Sure.
The 9 steps?
Yeah, well, I'll just give you my, how I would tell a story. And it depends how much time I have. So let's pretend I've set it up properly and the person's listening to me. I said, well, let me just share my story. I'm not here to convince or sell. I'm just here to share my story. And if people believe what I believe, or if they want to know more about what I believe, I'm happy to help them. So here's my story. I did everything right. I worked really hard. I grew up very poor in a very modest little community, fishing and logging town on the coast of Washington State. And I had no mentors. What I believed was work hard, get a good job. So I did. And I was academic, so I went off and so if 1 degree was good, I got 4. If 1 clinic was good, I built 3. But then I woke up one day in my early 30s and I realized I built myself, and I don't know about you, but I started feeling trapped. I couldn't find the balance. I built the American dream for myself. I had the home, I had the cars, I had the status, but I wasn't happy. I was gaining weight. I was losing sleep. I wasn't as healthy as I wanted to be. I was totally stressed out. I had huge obligations. At one point, I had 100 employees. And I realized, wait a minute, this is it. I'm actually the guy who's supposed to be winning. I couldn't find balance. And today, when I look out in the world, I see that everywhere. God, do you see other people with the same problems? So what I did was I was fortunate enough to work on a project where I met some mentors that were able to give me the education that I didn't get in school. Now, God bless my parents and my friends and the church and all the people I knew. But when I was 4 or 5 years old, what I believed was setting me up for my entire life. And you can't help that, but you can change the story. So my story is simple. I grew up doing everything that I was told to do. I felt I was out of balance. I was stressed out. And I think a lot of people, I didn't have any plans for retirement. So then some mentors came along and said, Steve, we love you. You're working hard. You're doing the right thing. You're doing what 95% of America does. But have you ever wondered what the other 5% do? And would it shock you to know that that's actually easier to do than being in the 95%? And when Buckley Griswold says, Steve, you have no idea. Now I'm kind of giving you more of my story here. I'm kind of elaborating a little bit, but please understand that when he said you don't know anything about wealth, I could have easily said, well, what are you talking about? I'm running a multi-million-dollar business. I'm a big shot, blah, blah, blah. I could have done that and I would have lost. Instead, I said, my God, you're right. Please elaborate on that. And for 7 years, because I was part of that team, they taught me the ways of the wealthy. The ways of the wealthy are so simple. It's just middle-class thinking transferred into world-class thinking. Instead of getting something and working hard, you give something and create wealth. And so, going back to my story, I say, hey, I started out in life simple, worked hard, got into my clinics, fell out of balance, wasn't healthy, wasn't happy, and something came along that changed my life. And it wasn't because of anything I knew, because I wasn't taught that in school. I learned it from some very successful people. And so the rest of my life, I've surrounded myself by mastermind people. Have you ever been part of a mastermind group? Have you ever been around people who want to teach other people to be successful in life? If you haven't, I have access to that. And I've helped thousands of people have access to that. And what you get out of that is whatever you want. And that starts the conversation. That's the conversation I had with this young guy saying, hey, I have like Uber, but you can own it too. And, you kind of have to feel your way. But once you get comfortable with yourself, it'll be easy for you to let that flow because it's all based on love. It's all based on loving others like you would want them to love you. And that gives them respect. It allows them not to have to posture against you and be critical and cynical. And they might be. I mean, don't forget, 80% as good as I am, 80% of the people I talk to say no. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not trying to beat human nature. If they turn off the TV if they reflect on their lives and decide they're going to do something about it, like I just gained some weight because I broke my leg, right? I'm not happy. So, but what I have to do about it, I got to start to get back on True Health, get back in my exercise program, and compound it. It's not going to happen overnight, but a year from now, I could be back in that incredible shape I was in. I had my body, I have my body scan, right? What is my biological age? Even though I'm 70, my biological age was 34.
Wow.
Well, that's Manitech, baby. And that's positive thinking.
Absolutely. That's the thing that's the priceless aspect of Manitech that you can't see and you can't explain. We often have a laugh on here that some of us who'd had the opportunity to be to reunions of some kind, seeing people you hadn't seen for 20 or 40 years, and you look completely, you don't even look like you're the same generation.
Oh my God, I went to my 50th class reunion and I didn't recognize anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all saggy skin. They had, overweight and lines in their faces. And I'm like, whoo.
Yeah, I'm 63 next week. And
you look, man, seriously, you could be 49 years old.
No,
and I know, and plus,
45,
don't forget,
49.
you overcame some pretty good physical challenges.
Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh, what a great story.
But, and that's sort of the concept of watching grass grow, like how to explain to someone that 20 years of this level of quality supplementation gives these kind of benefits. It's not just about disease free or best case scenario in the midst of a disease. It's about well-being and youth, and who knows what we've avoided.
Exactly. The challenge in life is if you could see your life down two different tracks, the choice would be easy, but you can't. But you can dream. See, when I say dream, I don't ask people what they're dreaming. I tell them what I was dreaming. I'll say, this is what I wanted in life. When I met Barbie, I didn't sit down and promise her that I would work my butt off and never see her. I said, no, I love you. I want to have a family with you. I want to have adventures and experiences and growth and fulfillment and happiness and joy. And life got in the way. Well, you can do something about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's got to really figure out a way to bottle that story, that youthing ability that, it's sort of invisible and it happens over time, and it happens with absolute consistent taking of our products. So all you young people listening today, this is what's for you. You forget about saying, oh, I won't take it today or I'll cut back. This is the benefit in the future for you. So there's lots of questions about your system and the 9 steps to the story. Do you have
I can provide some of that stuff for you.
Okay. So I'll put, I'll just write myself a note. Or Diana can remind me. She's good at reminding me. Whatever you send me, I'll upload and put a link into the archive on YouTube. Okay. So this will go up on YouTube and there'll be a link that you can right click and download a document.
Yeah, this is the beginning of a conversation between us that creates a relationship, but you don't have an understanding yet. And I'm happy to get you on that trail.
Fantastic. So we're just in the last 10 minutes. Is there anything that you haven't touched on that you think is important for your message?
I think you touched on it just a second ago. It reminded me of something very important. And that is, don't do anything by yourself that you could do through the system. Don't become the expert. Don't become the scientist. Don't become the glycobiologist. It's all fine if you know that stuff. And I did all those things, and that's why I didn't grow. Okay. Now, there was a time, don't forget, in Manitech where you couldn't help but grow. I mean, I got in 1996, and we took off so fast that it was incredible. We had no idea that it was the product story. It was the happy hormone. It was the ambertose. It was those stories, and it was our comp plan. You can make really great money. I mean, I used to do opportunity meetings with 1,200 people, and all the new people would get in. Those were fun times, but we were in a collision course with the regulatory system, because we were very confident that God was leading us to testimony, and we realized, no, free speech isn't free. So, there's a consequence. And so hey, listen, I always tell people, If you go out on the internet, people, but here's a question about the internet, right? I say, would you trust your daughter's life to the information on the internet? If the answer is no, then think about it for a minute. If there are negative articles, if there's contrarian advice, if you could just you could do what 90% of people do, which is think that you know something when you don't. Go a little deeper, and that depth really shouldn't be your journey. It should be our journey. Have a conversation with me. Ask me the hard questions. Ask me why this is happening or that's happening or I read this or I saw that. Ask me about it. Because they don't want to ask you because they think you're trying to convince them and make money off of them. So you have a jaded viewpoint. And it's like in my practice, I was an eye specialist. I said, do you want your carpenter friend to do eye surgery on you? You go to the guy that has the information. If I'm an eye surgeon and you give me money, am I using you? So I just have to laugh because if people, if I can get people just to, and I'll tell people ahead of time, I said, look, if you go out on the internet, you're going to hear a lot of stuff. But if you go below the surface, like I always do, because I don't know what I don't know, and the internet, first blush, is never going to give you what you need to know. You got to go deeper and really understand why we have these issues. And if you have a lazy product, nobody's gonna come after you. You have a product that works, everybody's going to come after you. They have their own personal agendas. And again, I love my colleagues, but the industrial pharmaceutical complex is real. They have special interests, and I love the fact we have tools, but they're not the tools you need to live an optimal life. Nobody has a deficiency in antidepressants.
And so it is. Absolutely.
And so it
That's
is.
absolute truth.
And I just, have a great Easter, guys. Thank you for being on this call. It's such a pleasure. Multiply this call if you can. One of the things that people, even my highest pins, they get to the level where they forget about their mentors. They think they know it all. I never forget about my mentors. I'm always reading. I'm always listening. The Hines system is about three things. Be a product of the product and create members in your buying community. Be a student of performance, of personal growth. Read, listen, attend. And then last but not least, be accountable and teachable and submit yourself to a system that's not you, independent of you, so you can have independence. If you will submit yourself to a system that's independent of you, you will create independence. During this entire thing, my phone's been sitting here, never rang once. Okay, that's not how my business works. So if you want a business where you babysit everybody, where you cater to the 2s and 3s of your business, you're not going to be successful. Cater to those who believe what you believe and are willing to work and again, advance the kingdom of God, advance the best be the best you can be. And I'm telling you, I got presidentials right now that will not read, will not attend, and they're going to be presidentials, but they're never going to go past that point. Mm-hmm. And they're lucky they have a thriving business, but it's not built on hundreds like 20,000. I have 20,000 auto ships. Okay, well, that's my business. The loyalty of those people to themselves. Everything else is bonus. I'm glad if somebody sells a $10,000 package someplace. Hey, so what? That's, I'm still being paid. My first month in network marketing, I got a check for $75. Those 20 or 30 accounts have stayed on auto ship, most of them. And now 26 years later, I have made over $23,000 on those 20 accounts. So how much did I make my first month? A lot.
That's such big thinking. And I know there's so much gratitude in this chat box for you, Dr. Hines. Thank you so very much.
Guys.
And I just want to say, Steve was sharing with me the other day that his team have released him to go platinum. So you can take all our prayers from Australasia in that journey for you.
Thank you so much. I am, I always say that, they said it was a 2 to 5 year plan, and I thought they said 25-year plan. So So yes, I am praying to go platinum. I'm working to go platinum. I'm finally released. And again, thanks. My leaders pray for me all the time because they realize I'm leaving a lot of resources on the table that I can use for good things.
Yeah, absolutely. You go platinum and you'll be able to, capitalize on all that hard work you've
Yeah,
done
and get on
over
an
those
airplane and
years.
come and visit you guys. I've never been to Australia. I was in Singapore on a church thing not too long ago, so I got close. But
Yeah, let's
I
free
can't
up
wait
those
to come down.
airplanes one day again. We'd
Yeah,
love
in the
that.
winter, I'll come down and see you guys one of these days.
That'd be fantastic. That'd be very good. Dr. Hines, have a fabulous Easter. May God bless you. Everybody else, stay safe, everyone, and stay mentally healthy. Just reach out. We'll be here every week. And we've just, so you know, we've more than doubled our call these days. So you guys are doing a great job and we really appreciate. Thank you. So go out there, bless, double, duplicate, and I'll get those resources to you in the next few days. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Dr. Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bye.